So I'm live. It's been a long day. What's up, good people? Um, my this thing works or not? But if you can look at this and you can see by the title, does fear control you? I'm gonna get right into it. Just how I roll. Um, I see now every now and then people have this idea that they're upset. Some people get upset at life, at the things that happen in life, or at things that happen in their life. What's up, Damon? Appreciate that. What's up, Ron? But people think that fear controls them. And you got to ask, does it do it? Because what winds up happening is I see people get angry at the fact that they was on the back end. They were scared to do something, and then when that moment passed them by, they were angry. What's happening, fam? So where can I start? You know, some of us have dreams, goals, aspirations. I got you, Damon. Like dreams, goals, aspirations, and everything that you have is going to take some work, you know. And people wanted these dreams and these goals or these dreams to come true, but they were scared to do the work, or they were scared to get on the big stage and prove it. So, in essence, you had a dream in private. What's up, Imore? What's happening? You had a dream in private, but you were scared to see it to fruition in public. So you got to ask, does fear control you? Because if you really wanted that dream to come true, you would push through the fear and go head on into whatever it is that you said you really wanted to do. You know, and a lot of us have an issue with that. Big issue with that. You know. Then we got people who have a fear of failure, so they don't start. Paralysis of analysis, is in some way, shape, form, or fashion. But in my opinion, it's just you have a fear of you gonna fail. So I'm so scared because if I don't do it perfect, it ain't gonna work out. Nobody told you had to do it perfect though. You just got to do it. And when you do it, you know, you get it out of the way, get it out your system that you did it, and then you move on to the next thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing. And a lot of people get so afraid that they never try, and then they get upset because they feel like, they see people who are in the position that they dream to be in. Yeah, yeah, exactly, Damon. And they see somebody in the position that they want to be in, and then what happened? You mad at them, you hating on them because they're where you want to be. It's not their fault though. They did what they were supposed to do. You didn't do what you were supposed to do. So the fear controlled you. So now we're gonna play this game where, everybody's afraid, everybody's scared, everybody's upset, and then you got people who are on the opposite side of that, who have a fear of success. What's up, Raider? How you been? You got people who are controlled by the fear of success. Say, what's happening? Hey, I just started, so it's all good. Salute to you. And people who say they want success and they want their dreams to come true, they get in the way. They get in their own way because they're scared. What if this actually works? What if this actually, pans out? Oh my God. Like, maybe I'm not prepared for the success I want. I'm going to try. I'm going to do my best, fam. I'm going to do my best. So I'm scared that this is going to work. So you know what? I'm going to throw a monkey wrench in this. I would say I don't have any help, but I got people helping me. And so I'm going to push these people away. I'm going to say I'm not good enough. But then I find out I am good enough. Roastmaster, man, how you been? What's good? You know. So, when you say, "Oh, I am good enough," you find out you are good enough. Then it's like, uh, could it be me? I don't know. So then you get so scared you don't try. You got to fear success. So I'm so scared I'm going to succeed. I'm gonna throw in the towel because you let the fear control you. So deep down you didn't really want it because the thing about it is, you know, you become afraid to try. And this isn't something that's life or death. This is hey, do it and see how it work out. Some things might work, some things might not. But put your all into something and see if it works out. Now some people have a fear of being let down. And what I mean by that is what I was just saying about putting your all into something. Some people are scared and they're controlled by fear because they're scared to put their all into something because they don't know if they're going to get as much back as what they put in, which becomes a problem because that might be true. Man, I'm going to do my best, Raiders. Thank you, fam. I'm going to do my best. You know, I mean, yeah, you don't get to control the results. You get to control how you put yourself out there, but the results, that's on everybody else. So some things hit, some things miss. It happens. But some people are just so afraid that, you know, I don't want to put put myself, put all of my energy into this one thing. I don't want to give this my all because if it doesn't work out, I'm gonna be crushed. I'm gonna be heartbroken. And for some people, you know, that's a um, that's a situation that, what's up, Shark? That's a situation that a lot of people can't handle because it's a shot to the ego. You know, and sometimes beyond the ego, it could break your heart. It could break your heart, and you don't want to do that. You got a fear of getting your heart broken. But you know, but you shouldn't let that control you. You have some people have, um, how can I say that? A fear of having to do it all on your own. What's up, Iman? Like some people let fear control them because they don't want to do it all on their own. Phineas, what's happening? Shar, how you doing, lady? I see you out there working. Hey, exactly, Phineas. I appreciate it. Paul, what's happening? Some people have the fear of, what if I go out there and venture all on my own? I'm gonna be all alone. So you're gonna let the fear of you being all alone control you. That's what we're gonna do. You know, you gotta have somebody holding your hand. You gotta have somebody um, in your corner. You gotta have a support system. You too scared to step out on your own and see if it works on your own. That becomes a problem. Yeah, that's what I try to do, Damon. I'm trying to get as many perspectives as I can. Devin, here you go with some shenanigans. You know, but what's up, Keith? Like becomes problematic because people are so afraid that I'm gonna be out here by myself. You can't make any new friends or acquaintances or business partners because you're only comfortable with what you're comfortable with. Which brings me to the next part of this. You let fear Does fear control you because you're comfortable in a situation? So you're not afraid of the situation at hand. You're afraid of being outside of your comfort zone. You don't know who you're gonna be outside of your comfort zone. So I'm gonna be in uncharted territory. So it's not that I'm alone. It's just that I don't know this place. So I'm scared that I'm in the wrong place. See, that might hit you. There's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, exactly. Like you don't want to get out that comfort zone. You just gotta be in this particular place around these particular people. You know, in this particular environment. You go to this particular place. You know, it is what it is. So people become overly, overly afraid of things to the point where it controls them and it controls how they maneuver. You know, not just comfort. You know, tied to the comfort, some people are afraid of change. Bucket, what's popping? Like some people are afraid of change, you know, because it's not just your comfort zone that you want to stay in. You want everything to stay exactly the way it is because you might lose your mind if it changes. You want the routine to be the same, the day to be the same, the afternoon to be the same, the night to be the same, Monday through Sunday, the same old thing. If that changes, you don't know. You don't know what you're going to do. You know, I got you. I got you. Spacely, what's happening? So now you're in this routine and you don't know, man, I like my routine. Why can't you switch it up? Mm-mm. It's who I am. Oh, okay. So are you also afraid? You let fear control you because you're afraid to change. You're afraid for you to change. Forget the circumstances outside of you to change. You're afraid of who you might become if you change. Because all of a sudden, if you change, then everything else around you is going to change because you're not going to be the same you in the same situation. So now the fear is if I actually change, all this stuff is going to go away. And some of this stuff I really want to keep, and it can't go with me. That's the problem. That's part of the problem, you know. But you let the fear control you because you might change into something better than what you are and create a better life, but can't see that far. You know, I was listening to something that Russell Wilson was saying actually on TED Talks today. He said, you know, being negative works 100% of the time. You know, so when you negative, that always works because negativity is undefeated when you bring it into your life. Which, by the way, adds a little bit to the topic, is, you know, not just to change or change yourself. People let fear control them because some people are afraid of positivity. Some people are so stuck in negativity that they're afraid to get out of it. You know, some people are afraid of function because they live in dysfunction. Some people like it dirt. When I was a kid in high school, my room was dirty. Dirty in the sense it was just stuff everywhere. But I knew where everything was at, but it was just everywhere. When I got to college, that stopped. But the thing about it is, when you used to the dysfunction, like your life is filled with junk all over the place, but you know where all the junk is. But you're scared that, man, if I clean this up, then I'm going to have to stay clean. That's why people stay in a dysfunction. You call it order within chaos. Yeah, this is my stuff. All this is my stuff over there, but it's page number 4. That's the one that you need. But what happens is you scared that you're going to have to maintain it. You scared if I clean this up, I'm going to have to keep it clean every day, every week, every month, every year. And now you scared that, you can't be that organized. Yeah, a fear of consistency. Now you scared of that. Man, what's up, Frank? Hope you doing well. You checking y'all out on Facebook. you know. So this is one of the things. It's like, Naima, how you doing, sugar? Hot lips. You looking good in the hey, keep doing your thing. You looking good. But people have this big fear, you know, like when you hear in this space people talk about building, a lot of people don't want to say that they're afraid to build. They're afraid of they want something built for them, but they don't want to build themselves. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people are afraid to build. And because that takes consistency, that takes a plan, that takes some long days, sometimes some short nights, that takes a day in day out grind, a commitment to something. You know what I'm saying? That's what it takes. And some people are not down for that, contrary to popular belief. Now, you got other people fear. When I say fear of commitment, and even in this space, a lot of people don't want to admit that they're afraid of commitment. What's up, One Light? They're afraid of commitment in the sense of, you know, I don't want to put my name on a dotted line for a long period of time. You know, I'm gonna keep it, just as little short amount of time as possible because I don't know if I want this to last for a long period of time, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, my entire life. I don't know if I want that. But here's the thing about the freedom of being non-committal. You're always free until you ain't free no more. Until you don't want to be free anymore. Because, it's funny that a lot of people who don't want to commit to anything at some point want something or someone to commit to them. So your fear of commitment has the flip side of that coin where you want somebody to commit to you while you're afraid. Not gonna happen. It is what it is. Man, what's happening? Man, where you been at? It's an ass seller. Oh man. So what winds up happening is you're afraid of this, you're afraid of that, you're afraid of this, you're afraid of that. But some people don't want to take into consideration it's controlling you, it's consuming you. Some people right now are lonely or single or alone because of fear. See, you didn't holler at the person that you wanted to holler at because you froze up. You know, you didn't confess your feelings to a person because you were scared that they was gonna say no. So they never had the opportunity to say yes because you were so scared to say anything that all you was concerned about was a possible no. So now they've moved on. Life has moved on, but you are still in that same space. And now you can't move on to the next because of the same fear that this person might say no. So you ain't gonna never go nowhere. The false evidence of hearing real. So this is where we at with it. That fear. That man, maybe they're not gonna like me. Maybe they're not gonna want me. How you know? You never took the opportunity to see. But now you lonely. Or now you want them. And see, I gotta break this out. Some people let fear control them because some people fear that they're not good enough. The reason I'm not gonna do this is because, or I'm not gonna speak to this person, is because I don't think I'm good enough for this person. I'm scared that I'm not good enough. But, oh man, what's happening? Just what's going on? Like, but you never had the conversation to see if you were good enough in the first place. You were so afraid that you wasn't gonna be good enough that you shot yourself in the foot. You cut your nose off to spite your face in the first place. You know, BS shenanigans, just flat out fear. You know, and experience. I got you. Of planning that makes absolute sense. That makes absolute sense. Now, some people don't want to. Some people don't want to say this, but I've also looked around and I was out today. I was working and whatnot, and it dawned on me. You know, you got a lot of people who are adults who their fear of being grown is hovering over them. And what I mean by that is you got people still want to be teenagers and children. You know, because if you're grown, that means you're fully responsible. You're supposed to, you know, um, be self-sufficient. And you got people afraid to step out and be self-sufficient because they're afraid that if they're recognized as an adult, they don't get to make those childish mistakes anymore. You know, but ironically, they hinder themselves because you're still going to get older and just people going to look at you like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to be I'm not your parent. I'm not your mom. I'm not your dad. I'm not your family. I'm not the people that's going to hook you up. You know, yeah, I get that. A lot of people haven't practiced that. They haven't practiced that. You know, so now you going to play this game. You want to be, you want to say you grown, but you can't sit in the room with the adults because you can't talk about adult stuff. You know, I'm grown enough to make bad decisions, but I'm not grown enough to live with those bad decisions. You know, so some people have a fear of actually being an adult. But and that controls them. And I've seen people age themselves into a bad situation because of that fear. You know, perpetually lost. Who? Yeah, I can see that. Now another thing is, some people have a fear. Oh man, some people have a fear that they're insignificant. You know, and that controls them. Like a yearning to make a difference in somebody's life, and feel like my life has a purpose. And depending on how you use that fear, um, it might work out in the positive, but it might work out in the negative. But some people fear, man, if my life is meaningless, I got to do this because I want my life to have meaning. And the thing about it is, sometimes you take the good intentions out of something. What's up, Linda? Because you're so afraid, you're operating trying to help people, but you're operating out of fear, you know? So that becomes a problem. Now, on the flip side of that, you know, some people are controlled by a fear of death, you know? Some people um, have a hard time with life because they're constantly in fear of dying, so death controls and consumes their life because, and I don't mean it in a dreary way. Like some people want to quote unquote live their best life and they're impulsive because they have a fear of death. I'm just gonna live one day at a time. Like Okay, I'm gonna live every day to the fullest because they constantly, today could be my last day, and then those days add up because it wasn't their last day, and then bam, all of that not planning for the future hits them square in the face. And then some people have a fear of death that controls them. Like, listen, um, I'm so scared I don't know what to do. I don't know if this move is the best move or if that move is the best move because and you wind up stressing yourself out. I've seen people stress themselves out into into aging horribly, into old age out of that fear of death, you know. But that's the fear that let them control them. Kind of like because of religion, sometimes people have a fear of hell, a fear of hell, and that controls them. I'm gonna do this because I want to get into heaven. I'm gonna do this because I don't want to go to hell. I'm not gonna do that because I don't want to go to hell. Well, in some sense, that's a good deterrent. And others, are you making a genuine decision out of who you are? Or are you making a genuine decision that this is gonna lead me to hell, or this is gonna lead me to heaven? Because you think doing good is gonna lead you to heaven and doing bad is gonna lead you to hell. What's happening, Cortez? But you might have a hard time in between because they also say the road to hell is paved with good intentions. That's just part of life. So it is what it is. You know. Oh snap! Oh yeah, David. So one of the other things about that is a you know not necessarily healthy, but some people have a fear. Excuse me. Whew. Some people have a fear that are controlled by a fear of their parents. What will my dad think? What will my mom think? How would my family see me? So the decisions you make are controlled by the fear of what your family will respond to it as. So, and sometimes people make, good decisions because of that. Sometimes people make bad decisions because of that. You know, I appreciate that. But it's but it controls you, Sometimes, it is one thing when it controls you as a kid, like, I'm not gonna do this because if my parents find out, they're gonna tear me up, you know. Yeah, but now as an adult, what you gonna do now? You know, and for some people, like I said, sometimes it can end in a positive way, sometimes it can end in a negative way. But people are controlled by fear, you know. Essential, it happens. It happens. It definitely happens. Sometimes, people are controlled by the fear of prison or staying quote unquote free. You know, I'm not going to do this because I don't want to go to jail, which is a healthy fear. But sometimes people go overboard with that fear and they're not willing to take risk in life that is not illegal, but they're so scared of the fear of any, I don't want to be in jail, I don't want to be a bad person. They're afraid to take a risk that has nothing to do with prison or being a bad person because they interject those things into the equation and they don't belong there. But like I said, it's fear. You know, does fear control you? Now some people, in my opinion, I would say, uh-oh, I'm not in. All right. I got you, Linda. Like some people, ironically, I touched on this a little bit earlier when I say function and dysfunction. But some people have a fear of peace. You know, because sometimes people assume that if there where there is, you have to have struggle and success. You have to have struggle or adversity to go to the next level, to go to a higher level. You have to overcome some type of adversity. So sometimes people have a fear of peace because there is no struggle in peace, or there is no adversity in peace. So you might feel like, oh, well, there I can't ascend to any higher ground because third world was happening, you know, because I can't. I need this struggle to go to higher heights, you know, where there is none of the drama, there is no higher heights, you know. But people, so they're afraid because I didn't get to peace yet. I don't want peace means, there's no more drama and I'm retired and there's no higher place to go. You know, what's up, Melvin? Like that becomes an issue, becomes a big, big issue. So that's a whole nother thing. That's why I said does fear control you, right? And sometimes people don't take into consideration, excuse me, Whew. Hmm. Sometimes people let the fear of poverty control them. You know, I don't have enough money to get from this place to that place in life. You know, I need this amount of money. Like other people need have this amount of money to become successful, but I don't think I could be successful starting with this amount of money. I'm scared that, I can't sacrifice this because there is no guarantee on the back end. And some people can't get out of the situations that they're in because they're so afraid of it's weird, but you're afraid of being stuck further into poverty, but at the same time, you're gonna have to try something to get out of poverty because what you keep doing is gonna keep you there. So you might as well take a shot at getting out, you know. But some people are afraid that, that cost may be too high depending on how much that they actually have. You know, on the who never or who are never content. Well, that's weird to me. Like when people, you can God dog it. What just happened? I mean, people who are never content are just greedy to their heart. Thanks, David. Yeah, that don't make no sense. It don't like when people aren't content, there comes a point where there is no more to win. Or no, like the time period over. Like people are gonna win for a certain amount of time. They're gonna lose for a certain amount of time. But at some point, all of that stops. So when you keep saying I'm not content and blah blah blah, so most people cut themselves off with that lack of okay, with that you can never get enough mentality. Some people can build on a win. Some people just win and you got to ride that win out. Some wins are longer than others. You know, yeah, I get that. I get that. Now, as I was speaking on the poverty thing, you got people who are also, I hate to say this, you got parents who are controlled by the fear of their kids becoming better than them. So you got parents sabotaging their children out of fear. I'm scared this kid is going to grow up to be something a whole lot better than me, so I'm going to give them some bad advice in the beginning. And you got adults that do that to kids that are not their kids in general. Just like, but, Other parents are controlled by the other type of fear. That's why people say you coddling. You know, you're afraid that something's going to happen to your kids, so you know, you parent them by, how can I say this? By sheltering them from everything. You know, you shelter them from everything. What's up, CJ? I'm afraid that the world gonna do something to you, so I gotta hold you close and never let you go. Well, you know, you let fear control you to the point where that child is gonna be unprepared. Uh-oh, man, don't listen to that. Essential. You know, advice is one thing. Uh, hate it or hate or hurting you, that's another. Philly, what's happening? You're not tripping. You're not tripping. You know, so you got parents who have that fear. You know, I don't want nothing to happen to my baby type of fear. But you kind of put them in a position where they're so sheltered that they might be naive enough that something could happen to them. Then, some people are controlled by the fear. Mm, I don't know how to say it properly because it's a fear of competition. You know, some people are controlled by a fear of competition. Like, you know, I'm afraid that if I put my name in the hat, if I actually compete and get in this ring and compete, that you know I'm gonna get my lunch take money taken. So now in life, you're going out there scared because your opponent's, your possible opponent looks great. You know what I mean? So now they look so great that you scared. I don't want to be. Don't put me with them because they looking too good, and I don't know if I can make it. You know, that's not on my level yet. Just give me a couple of years, a couple of decades, and I'll be ready then. Like that type of fear controls you, where you're always observing how good other people are, but you won't compete and challenge yourself to get on that level. You know, that becomes problematic. Just in my opinion, it becomes very problematic. Now, mm, I was thinking about this when it came to race. Um, some of us have a fear of separating from racism, separating from racist people. And what I mean by that on both sides is some of us have a fear of not knowing how to live without it, you know, like using it in this reverse sense. People think that people who are quote unquote black conservatives or Republicans or whatever are sellouts. And you can and people understand why. And but part of me looks at it like sometimes those people are, they're afraid that they can't survive with just the black community because the black community doesn't have the type of amenities and ability to pay out like the white Republican conservative or the right wing community. So, you know, I don't think I could live like this if I just was team black. So some of the things I say and do is controlled by the fear of, hey, this is who butters my bread. But see, on the flip side of that, you got black people who are also afraid, who may be considered pro-black, but also afraid of having to build without without any type of white interference. I don't know how to do this. So, but I don't want to ask white people to help me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want around to be around these white people, but I don't know how the sausage is made. But I still want them to make the sausage. What's up, David? But I don't like them. I don't trust what they're gonna put in the sausage. You know, it's like so on both sides you control by fear because the fear of the can we do this on our own outside of these people, you know, and the same thing goes for them. Like people actually believe racism wouldn't exist if it wasn't for fear. How if these people live like this without me, without us, then what are we gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Because how are we going to actually build and grow and get and pass down generational wealth without racism? It's like it is what it is. Gangsta, what's popping? Yeah, it is a protection mechanism. It's like but it's a fear. Like it's controlled. People's actions are controlled by fear. Which is ironic, but just my opinion about it. Then on top of that, you got people who are controlled by fear in the sense of, how can I say this? People who are rebellious because you just say it. Like I look at it in reverse, okay? Like some people who are rebels are just people who are very fearful. They're rebelling. They're scared that if they live a life that's not rebellious, they're gonna lose their soul. So I gotta be a rebel. I gotta go against the grain. I gotta be outside of the box. There's nothing wrong with those things. But when people go to the extreme where I just can't, I can't be a normal member of society, it's like, it's like, you scared. What is it gonna kill you to just be what people would consider normal? Because like normalcy is a is the I'm scared. I'm controlled by the fear that I don't want to be normal. If I'm normal, I'm not me anymore. I'm like, I don't know if that's the case. You know, you can, you don't know how to cut it on and cut it off, or, you got to be rebellious you everywhere. Like you can't just, bring it down a notch some places. It's that to me. It's just like a fear, like the fear of I'm gonna lose me. You know, to me, doesn't make as much sense. To other people, it makes a lot of sense. But that's just what it is. That's just my opinion on that, though. Um, some people are controlled by the fear of this is the only thing I'm good at, which means they're a one trick pony, or they feel like they're scared because if they're a one trick pony to themselves and they think if this trick runs out, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So they're controlled by the fear. Some people, like when you hear people who were great at something for 5, 10 years. This is all I know how to do. This is it. They're scared. They're controlled by the feel like, people like you can put that down now. They can't. They literally are afraid of who are they without the thing that made them, you know, in some ways great, or made their life easy. Like sometimes people have if good looks were your thing, you know, you're afraid, you're controlled by the fear of, you know, I got to move like this because without these looks, are people really gonna like me? Without me, without me being flashy, are people gonna like me? Without me being overly sexual, are people gonna like me? That's just, it does too much. You know, it, and I've seen too many people succumb to that because they gotta always be on, because they're scared if they ever shut off, then the whole world shuts them off. You know, you got that. What's up, Natalie? What's, yeah, Dizzy? I feel you on that. I feel you. So for now, you know, no, I think some people feel like they mastering a craft, and that craft has a time limit. So those people aren't necessarily stagnant, but they're just so into that one thing that they never broaden their horizons for when that window closed. You know, they never found any other interests when that window closed, or if they did find an interest, they kind of put it on the side, and you know, now they don't know how to operate. Like they're scared of life without that. The factory. Like they're scared of life without that. You know, I need to be known as this. I can't be known as this, this, and this. You get what I'm saying? Some people just have one title in life. Other people have multiple, because other people aren't afraid to try multiple things. Other people are afraid to try multiple things. They're afraid of expanding their horizons because, you know, I'll never be as well known in this as I am in this type of thing. But for now, I think I'm done. You know, so I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Great Black Shark, you know it's always a pleasure. So I'll catch y'all next time. I'll check out y'all. So peace.